Welcome back to Footballology. So now it's time for my top 10 defensive players for the NFL Draft 2016. By far the hardest list I've ever put together of anything. There were so many talented guys. I'm not going to say talented, but so many guys I felt like they deserved to be on this list just because I feel like their careers are going to have some longevity to it. But there was guys that I put on, took it off, moved around, shuffled numbers. And I finally came up with a list that I felt extremely proud about and happy with. Once again, just like my offensive list is going to be extremely controversial. If you have any questions, just ask me. Go ahead, comment down below. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video. So right off the back, extremely controversial pick. At number 10, I got Sheldon Day. Now, there's a lot of guys that I feel like a lot of people feel like should be here, but Sheldon Day is my guy. This is the Footballology top 10 list, so if you don't like it, you can go ahead and click somewhere else. Go read ESPN or something. Everybody's saying the same thing. This is what I'm saying because it's true. Sheldon Day is a 10. He's a top 10 player. He won't go anywhere in the first round, I don't think. Probably second or third round. The thing with him, I don't know where to play him. He has the size, and you would think some of the technique abilities to play defensive tackle, but when you watch him, and then you especially watch him at the combine, they had him doing outside linebacker drills. You watch him in his footage, you see him playing some stand-up outside linebacker. So then it's all of a sudden it's like, this is a really weird sized guy. Like, what do I do with him? Do I have him put on more weight so he can anchor down on the defensive line? Or do I have him lose some weight so he can play outside linebacker for me or defensive end in some systems? It's crazy with him. Great, I say good to great athleticism. He really knows how to kind of move people at times, but I think it's more or less his athleticism that's doing it for him. With his size and that weird size range he's in, sometimes I feel like he can get overpowered. But even then, dude, I feel like he's that guy that you really just don't know what to do with it. So you're kind of excited to get your hands on him to see what you can do with him. Another weird pick kind of guy that a lot of people are gonna say, really, this guy? TJ Green, safety for Clemson. The reason why I like him is because his frame, his size, and what he's able to do. Yes, he ran extremely well at the combine. He's 6'2". I mean, the dude's practically almost like a receiver out there. But the thing that I like about him, and the thing that I think is going to translate good success into the NFL for him, is because of his size and athleticism. He almost plays the inside at that safety position. You have him put on another 10 or 15 pounds. He plays the inside in the safety position. Now, he won't match up extremely well, but he actually has an opportunity to match up against a Jimmy Graham or against a Rob Gronkowski or Martellus Bennett, Travis Kelce, Antonio Gates, some of the big name tight ends out there, Julius Thomas, Jordan Cameron. I mean, the list goes on. We know all the tight ends. But with him, I think his athleticism gives you the ability to pit him on some of those tight ends and kind of get him just better pass coverage, you know what I mean? Like, you can defend the pass a little bit better, especially if you're like an Arizona or a New York Jets. You know how they like to, blitz, sell out on the blitz, play man on the back end, and stop them if you can. That's this kind of guy. That's what this guy gives you the ability to do. His downfall to me is his speed. So what I mean by that is, if you watch him sometimes play, his speed he uses his speed too much. He doesn't know how to dial it back on some plays. So he winds up overrunning the play sometimes, reaching back, trying to make the play. What I hate about that is because that can lead to injury, A, and B, that can lead to just missed play, a missed tackle, guy goes on, fronts for another 40 to 50 yards and a touchdown, or whatever the case may be there. So sometimes he has to know how to put a little dial on it, a little dimmer dial that you have. That's what he needs on his speed. You need to know how to, turn it up to the max and then just kind of dim it down, just bring it back a little bit. And so when it comes to those things as well, when you watch him play, you can tell that he knows or understands how to tackle, but he doesn't know how to tackle. So basically, when you watch him play, he gets there, he tries to put the big hit on the guys instead of just bringing the guys down. I feel like if he actually wrapped up, brought the guys down, and he would be perfectly fine. He'd probably be one of the better guys in this list, and he'd probably be higher on this list for that reason. But I think that's where you need to really coach him up. It's just his tackling. His tackling, have him put on another 10 to 15 pounds, And then TJ Green would be an all-pro safety in my mind. And this is a guy that, like I said, can shut down some corners, or shut down some receivers, and shut down some tight ends. And if with that extra body weight, and with the ability to really learn or hone in on his tackling ability, can definitely help you out in the run game. At number 8, I got Andre Billings. Now, this guy is really interesting. When you watch him play, he plays with extremely great power, I think. I think he plays with good leverage and great power. But when you think about those two things, those things go hand in hand. If you can get underneath the guy's pads and then push your center into the quarterback's lap, ridiculous. I think that when you watch him play, he understands how to get after the quarterback and how to get after the ball. But sometimes I think that gets him in trouble. And basically with his eye discipline, I think he assumes one thing, and this is probably just something that comes with film study over time, but I think he assumes one thing, and then he kind of pushes towards that one goal instead of actually allowing the play to develop in front of him and then going to attack. So with him, the only knock I had on him was that he doesn't allow the play to develop, and then his eye discipline isn't there completely. So a play fake can completely kill him. A play fake can completely take him out of the play, and then his power and leverage is nothing. You know, we can't have that, and especially in the NFL. The NFL is full of guys and full of coaches that are all about misdirection. Watch the ball, read the ball, attack the ball. And I think if Andre Billings can work on those things, that he'll be unstoppable. You think about him playing in a 4-3 defensive tackle position, or a 3-4 defense, or 3-4 defensive end spot. And with his power off the edge on some of these pass rushers, he probably keep a lot of guys clean. You think about if he played the D tackle position, he'd keep a linebacker clean, and then if he played the defensive end position, he'd keep a pass rusher clean. So it's just, that's really the only knock I had on this guy, was his ability, his eye discipline. He fixed that. The dude can be a beast at the next level. Next on my list is Shawn Robinson at number 7. I like him, but there's a huge but there. I think he needs a partner. And what I mean by that is, when Reed and Alabama, when those two guys are together, they're unstoppable. I feel like Jerron Reed can definitely be here as well at this position, or at this ranking number as well, because those guys are equally as important to each other than they are away. So you think about some players, they don't play well apart from each other, but when they're together, they can be unstoppable. We know they're not going to play together in the NFL. So what you got to do for Shawn Robinson is you got to give him a guy like Reed next to him, and just a guy to help him take off that pressure off the offensive line. More or less like a Kevin and Pat Williams thing a while ago. That's the kind of tag team I think Robinson can provide for you, especially in the run game and the run support. He definitely knows how to help there. And you just get him a guy that can actually control the line of scrimmage from a passing game standpoint. Then you'll start having a 1-2 attack combo in the middle. But that was the only knock I had on Robinson. I think Robinson's a true football player. I think he goes out there and he plays football. He knows his stance, leverages, angles, and everything else. But I just feel like sometimes he needs that help, that extra little wiggle, that little room to give him ability to make that next play. So I think if you give him a guy like that, just to take a little bit of pressure off of him, he definitely can be a superstar at the next level. Next, at number 6, I got Mr. Reggie Ragland. This guy's a beast. This dude's an old school linebacker, just how I like him. A guy that can control the line of scrimmage with his power and his ability to attack the ball. Biggest knock on him that everyone's going to say and everyone's going to complain about is he doesn't have NFL elite speed. But when you look at him, I don't care about that, because I think his ability to diagnose the play and his angles that he takes, it looks like he's fast. You know what I mean? It's like an aging player. When a player gets older, they lose that speed. They lose the ability to actually attack with aggressiveness. But they understand angles and all that stuff and how to get to the ball, the shortest route to the ball without needing, the elite speed, if you will. Ragland already has that in his arsenal. So he understands that, hey, I'm not going to beat you in a 40-yard dash, but in this 10-yard window I got, I will find a way to get to you before you get to this first down. And I think that's what Ragland possesses. And also one other thing that I like with him, when he gets there, when he wraps up and he attacks with power. He definitely brings his guys down, and that's it. That's the beginning and the end of the play right there. Ragland makes sure that the play doesn't go beyond him, and I really enjoy that. And like I said, he's an old-fashioned linebacker. A lot of the linebackers nowadays are getting a little bit on the lighter side, and I'm not a big fan of it. And just to give you guys a heads up, no other linebackers on this list, interior linebackers on this list, except for Ragland, because that's how I feel. I'm not a fan of the smaller linebackers. I can't do it. I need an old-fashioned guy that I can anchor down, especially in a 4-3. In a 4-3, anchor down and do your business. And the dude can play in a 3-4 too, so it doesn't really matter. But definitely a guy like him, plays well in zones, understands angles and all that stuff. Ragland, old-fashioned linebacker. Give me him over any other linebacker, except for C.J. Mosley. I gotta have C.J. Mosley. That dude's he's probably the exception to my rule. Next on my list at number 5, I got Shaq Lawson. When I watched him, I felt like that I can only play him in a 4-3. Now I can't stand him up on the outside, because I feel like if I stand him up on the outside, I'm gonna degress him a little bit, and it's gonna take him a minute before he gets back to where he's playing right now. Put him in the 4-3, I think that he's gonna be able to come out and contribute right away. Now when I watch him, he plays football. He doesn't do any one thing great, in my opinion. He plays football. Really, I'll say above average after getting at the quarterback. But when you watch him, I think he's blockable. He's extremely blockable, which everybody's blockable. But this guy, he doesn't, I don't think he has his arsenal of pass rusher skills up yet. And when you watch him, I just think he's blockable. But he's unmovable. So, yeah, you might lock him up there, but you won't move him anywhere. And that's one thing I think he has. He has the ability to play with a good anchor down and stop right there. You know, maybe you're not going anywhere and I'm not going anywhere, and we're just going to stay right here and we're going to tango at this one spot. And I think that's what he has and that's what he possesses, which is good. And the run game, when you think about it. In the pass game, we got to step it up a little bit more. And a lot of people might disagree with me here, but I'm serious. I didn't see what everyone's seeing as an edge rusher. I didn't see that. This guy doesn't attack like, what was it? A couple of guys that we had came out last year. Dante Fowler even attacked a lot better coming off the edge. Randy Gregory attacked better coming off the edge. These are guys that are, in my opinion, true edge rushers. And these guys got off the ball and they attacked with aggressiveness. Shaq Lawson, I just don't think he possessed that yet. Get him in the league, get him coached up. I think he's definitely a coachable guy to that standard and to that ability. But I didn't see anything from him. Next at 4, I got Sheldon Rankins. This dude is nice. Me personally, I play extremely a lot of Madden. I don't use a defensive tackle. Not anymore. I haven't used a defensive tackle in like the last 3 or 4 Maddens. I just don't. But this guy is really nice. I think he definitely knows how to attack the ball. He keeps his eye on the ball. Something that I had problems with Andre Billings. That's his best attribute, honestly. He keeps his eye on the ball. He knows how to find the ball, track the ball, and attack the ball. And I think with that, from a defensive lineman perspective, that's really quality, especially in the run game. The play fakes and things of that nature. I think he knows how to get upfield, and he can cause a little bit of havoc in the pass game up the middle, but nothing crazy. Now, his downside to me personally is that he doesn't really know how to defend the double team yet, and sometimes you just don't have it. You know what I mean? Billings was a guy that can completely demolish the double team. Rankins doesn't possess that kind of strength, power, and ability, but that's cool. It's whatever. If you're eating up 2 guys because you're taking up 1 guy already, and that guy is just like, hey, I need some help, come back to the line, and now they double team you, then so be it. That's cool. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if you get double teamed, because that's doing me a favor. That's going to allow one of my best pass rushers to get freed up and take care of business in the pass game or in the run game. Once again, like I said, if you occupy 2 blockers, you're doing enough. This man needs to be occupied by 2 blockers, because if he's not, he is going to create havoc for a lot of teams. I think he has a decent arsenal of pass rushing skills and abilities to get up the field. And like I said, he knows to find the ball, track the ball, and attack the ball. He can do those things extremely well, and with that, that's all you really need from your defensive tackle position. Next on my list, I got Eli Apple. Now, with Eli, I think that he's almost a complete corner. I definitely like his burst out of his back pedal. His hips need a little bit more work, but nothing to the point where it's not coachable or fixable. His footwork is definitely, I think sometimes he can get tangled up in his footwork. And then also, you gotta watch his hands. That's it. I mean, these are a little tidbit things, if you will. These are me actually picking on him. And other than that, I think he's almost a complete corner. Is he a number 1? That's where we start to fall into that category. Is he a number 1? Maybe. It depends on, I think, on Saturday in practice, he could be a number one. On Sunday, he might get his head beat, and you got to move him to the 2 spot. So it just depends on some days. And that's just stuff that's going to come in time. Once he gets knowledge of the league and understands a little bit more further things and gets comfortable in his system, I think that he's definitely going to be a quality guy. I don't know if he's a man-to-man guy yet, and I don't know if he's ready for that, because people don't understand that the man-to-man corners, they're not a dime a dozen. They're extremely hard to come by. A man-to-man corner is a guy that can stay in a receiver's hip pocket, and I'm just unsure if Eli possesses that yet. And what I like about him, though, is that burst out of the back pedal. So that's one step in the right direction of being a good man-to-man corner. In his zone, I think he can do it. I think he can play his zone a little bit better. I think he can sit down, give him an area to cover, and he has that range and that skill, and definitely his arm. I mean, you see his arm, dude's like standing up, touching his kneecap still. I think that's what he is going to flourish in at the beginning of his career. And then maybe a year or two in, he's going to definitely hone in on his ability to become a man-to-man corner. And that's when we're going to start to see him take that next step. Next on my list, I have Vernon Hargreaves. Now, with this guy, the only reason he's not number one on this list, the only reason is because he's so small. It's because he's, like 5'10", I think, 5'11", somewhere around there. I might be getting an inch or two. But he's a small corner. And usually with me and my mindset, small corners are automatically nickel corners. So it's hard for me to actually put a nickel corner on top of my list. So, but that's the only knock on this man. Only knock, I promise you, is his size. But, I mean, Brent Grimes had success at the next level. There have been small corners. We've just gotten to this day of age of looking at the 6'1", 6'2" corners. Let's not get blinded. Let's remember that small corners used to dominate this league. Hargreaves probably is he's probably going to flip the page on that. Him and Jason Verrett, I think, are the 2 corners that we got to definitely keep our eye out from the smaller aspect of things. And these are going to be 2 guys that are probably going to change the corner position in a whole different way, and we're not going to be ready for it yet. But with Hargreaves, he possesses NFL elite speed. I truly believe he does that. And he has great route anticipation. He understands the route tree to its fullest. His ability to flip his hips and kind of get upfield with the receiver is amazing. I think that he's a true man-to-man corner. I think he's a true zone corner. I think he's just a complete corner, if you will. But his size, and the reason why I hate his size so much, or not hate it, and the reason why I just kind of not a big fan of it, if you will, is because when it comes to the run game, if I run at you, eventually I'm going to realize that either A, you're going to have to knife underneath my blocker to get out of my running back, or B, my blocker is going to get on you, and then you're stuck. You're kind of glued there. And that's not his fault. Like, it is what it is. But in a passing system, or a defense that's playing passing systems, I think that he's going to have tremendous success. You think about going to a Jacksonville. I've seen that somewhere. If he goes to Jacksonville, you got to play what? Andrew Luck, they pass a lot. Tennessee's trying to pass more with Marcus Mariota, but I think they're going to more of a run-heavy thing there in Tennessee. And then Houston, they just signed, Brock Osweiler, so they're going to definitely try to air it out as much as possible. And then on top of that, you're in the AFC. So once we get into the dance, once you get into the 6-team dance, it's going to be a little bit more pass-happy, if you will, than the NFC. So Hargreaves is definitely a guy, like I said, complete corner. The only thing, if you really want to pick at something, is his size. Other than that, dude is a complete corner with great elite NFL speed. Next, number 1 on my list, Jalen Ramsey. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I look at all the articles and I read everything on ESPN, I go and I attack these guys as much as I possibly can, especially when it's this guy is a consensus this or this guy is a consensus that. I attack these guys and I find reasons to not like them because media just makes me do that. With Jalen Ramsey, I did not have that problem. Honestly, I was dreading looking at him and watching anything on him. And then I finally kind of got the courage. I was like, I got to, because everyone's saying that this guy is this good. I went to go watch him, and I was mad because I almost turned down a true NFL prospect. When you watch Ramsey play, the only thing that I could say to myself, literally the only thing I said to myself, is that he was an NFL player already that had to play college football because of the NCAA rules and all that good stuff. So now this man gets a chance to go to the NFL, and I think he's going to be amazing at the next level. amazing at the next level. I understand why everyone felt the way they did about him. It's crazy. It's insane. I've never, in my time of actually watching the NFL and doing the NFL drafts and everything before I even started making videos, I've never seen a prospect that I felt so comfortable with at the next level. Jalen Ramsey's that guy. It's kind of hard, like it's hard for me to say, but it's true. Jalen Ramsey is that guy. He's that NFL player that had to play college football. Now, my biggest knock on him is, where does he play? You know, does he play at the safety position? Does he play at the cornerback position? I think he has what I was talking about with TJ Green earlier in the video. That's what Ramsey already has. He has that size. He has the ability to attack the ball. He has the ability to tackle. So now you think, oh, I can put him in a safety, call blitzes, man up on the tight end, and Ramsey's that good enough to cover some of these tight ends in the NFL. Then you're like, whoa. But now the number one receiver's open. So now do I put Ramsey over there? So now his ability to do everything becomes his almost his demise. There it is. Almost becomes his demise, and he almost kind of hurts him in a way, because he's never gonna, in my opinion, never gonna be able to have the ability to hone in on one skill and become that good at that position. You think about a Deion Sanders. No, I'm not comparing with Deion Sanders, but with Deion Sanders, we all know him as a corner that can stay on the guy, that plays through ball, punt returns here and there. And we've seen the same thing with Patrick Peterson when he came out. Ramsey needs to find his home and hone in on his ability and his skills and take him to the next level. Other than that, the dude is good. The dude is really good. He's number one at Footballology top 10 list. And because he's an NFL player that just went to Florida State because he had to play ball there for a little while. Now he's coming out, dude, and he's just going to dominate next time. Like, he's just going to dominate at the next level. He stays focused and keep his mind right, he's going to be a beast for a long time. That's my top 10 list for defensive players coming out in this year's draft. Felt really good about the list once I got it cut up and trimmed up and everything. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Put your top 10 out there. I'm getting some comment love on my offensive video already, and I'm really excited about it. And I will comment as soon as possible. Like, I'm sitting there waiting on it. I'm getting notifications, and I'm commenting right back as soon as you guys comment. So let me know who's in your top 10. Did Ramsey make your number one? Did Sheldon Day even make your list? Did TJ Green even make your list? These are guys that I really like, and I think they're going to have true success at the next level. So, yeah, go ahead, sub to Footballology. I don't know what you're waiting on. You're sitting here watching my videos, and I'm hoping you're enjoying these videos. I'm trying to put out more videos for you guys. So go ahead, sub to the channel. Become a footballologist today. I don't know what you're waiting on. And stay safe, football fans.